Fears and obstacles, we have the what's it called, Nine of Cups upright, clarified by the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So it's getting your wish fulfilled, like you're afraid of going towards your wish, basically. It's like, yeah, fear of commitment. It's fear of commitment. You want to, you feel ready, but you're dragging this out, I think, because of healing and stuff. Sometimes, they say usually, you have to first love yourself to be able to love the other person. You have to heal before you go into a relationship. Yes, but there are no specific standards for each and one of you. It's sometimes it takes a leap of faith as a show of strength, and sometimes you work on yourself, but there isn't like it's a lifelong process, because shit happens, situation happens, and you may also learn with the help of somebody else. So there's so many different scenarios that can help you heal, let's say. So if you're waiting to heal, I think you are, again, you're ready. You want, yes, of course you have your own issues, clearly, but it's this idea of not being good enough or not being able enough, or just be careful and mindful of how that is affecting your own situation, because take one step at a time. You don't have to, again, control issues, overthinking this too much. Regain your strength, your connection with yourself, and be grateful and mindful for all the work that you've done, and you were able to get out of a certain situation once. Do not let it limit you, still in your present. Potential outcome, we've got the Judgment reversed, again, Moon upright, and the Queen of Pentacles upright. The clarifying cards was the Fool reversed, Two of Cups upright, and the Wheel. Yes, the Wheel reversed. So it's like bad timing comes to mind. Bad timing. It's like there's nothing happening here about this union with this person, because there's like a rush judgment, things hidden. So basically connect with intuition in order to overcome a certain judgment, I think, a certain view. And missed opportunity comes to mind. Bad timing, missed opportunity, secrecy, hidden agendas. Maybe there are other people involved here. I don't see specific people. The only, let's say, people card that I can see here is the Three of Cups, this environment. Well, we do have the Queen of Cups and whatever, but I think that's more representative of you and your relationships rather than external people to your relationships. Maybe you're just afraid of losing, I want to say. Losing this opportunity. There is a view here. There is a view. You're not seeing something. I hear, help me get around this. Help me get around this. It's like it's a new way of being. It's a new way of doing that you're probably a bit unfamiliar with. Again, if you've had like a specific pathway in life and where you knew how to proceed, what to do and what not, and what was expected of you and things like that, it's sort of like that specific pathway, maybe you thought at least that it was expected of you of being in a certain manner, like the ideas that we have of manhood or being a woman, or like specific roles, yes, roles. And I think you thought that it was expected of you to suppress your feelings, suppress your intuition, because maybe not being connected to a certain part of yourself. And I think this new path is requiring of you to explore those other sides that you haven't been exploring so far. I think you've grown to a certain degree where this is allowed for you to do that, because I keep going back to this King of Cups. So I think it's a nice generative masculine energy here, that wants to connect to a new feminine, but it's about masculinity. It's, how do I say, it's a different interaction between the masculine and the feminine. So you have to sort of like change a bit the approach here, as to allow things to unfold a bit more naturally, without blocking yourself. In order for you to do that is to express who you are, however that may come, even though that can create some fears of losing control or anxiousness, or may derail your current stance on certain things, or maybe because if you've built around like a specific life, you know how to manage that, you're able to do that. But it's like being in the same job for many years and you know how to do it like with closed eyes, and when something new happens, it's as if somebody asks you, well, how do you actually do that, and you're like, oh, you have to remember the steps of how you actually do that, and sort of like pushes you a bit out of balance because it's out of your own habits, out of your own comfortable way of doing. um so it's as if you have here then enough emotional abundance comes again, but you need to connect to sort of your intuition as to explore this, use this, create this. Especially if you want to create something new, you have to step out of these new ways, these old ways of doing, um, like going from 9 to 5 job to like a more entrepreneurial way of where you have maybe 24 hours. You have to be there, you have to actually pour yourself out there. So the same way with maybe a different type of relationship, where you do want a different type of relationship, you have the lovers here, you love a boy, you're ready to do that, to be more reciprocating, and you think maybe you're saying, well, it's time for me to receive. You have to be able to open up, basically to express, even though it throws you out of balance. Instead of trying, especially if you're out of balance, you're trying to hold it on, just release it a bit and just, dip your toes, do that, try that if it's too much doing all at once. But I think it's time for you to move a bit, because if you keep holding on to past fears and you're not changing a bit your own approach here, you might lose out. There is like an element of timing here. So it is not to put pressure. I want to say take your time, but be mindful of how much time. That's what I'm saying. Are you taking that time because you're trying to figure it out, or you're taking that time in order to procrastinate and sort of like deflect and run away from it, basically? So yes, there are things hidden here. You need a clarity on your mind, with the High Priestess reversed, clarified by the Hangman. You need new perspective. You're like waiting. You need to connect with your own intuition, your own guidance here, your own strength. Go back to your own strength. I think there is like a healthy masculine energy here that needs to be supported, I think. And but you need to start doing that. You need to. It's like going from a King of Wands to a King of Cups, King of Swords. It's still a king. It's still you. Just different aspects, basically. And they're all useful in different circumstances at different times. You just have to figure out which side of you is best applied in those circumstances. In this circumstance, I think it's expressing yourself. It's one of the main keys here. And try to slowly open up, even though the situation, maybe the environment, the circumstances may not allow like a productive communication. If you want, you need to communicate. It's weird, I have to push through this. If you want, to achieve this, start manifesting, basically, this full energy, playful energy. Embody, connect with yourself, as to allow yourself, not judge and try to shut down your own inner child or inner playfulness, but try to approach it with maybe a bit more emotional resilience. There you go. Be your own pillar. Yeah, good luck. It's a good news. I like this reading. Good luck.